This is episode 11 of the Battle of Ohio podcast, and the Bengals and Browns bye week is over. It's time to get back to it. What?
I said finally.
Finally, yeah. That was, as always, a long bye week when your team's not, well, it's always a bye week when your team's not playing, but it's always long because your team's not playing. We've missed covering these teams actually doing something. So time to get back to it now. The Browns taking on the Texans and trying to work their way kind of back into playoff positioning, with the Ravens just slightly ahead of them. And the Bengals not really anywhere near playoff positioning, but they're trying to turn their season around and kind of build momentum going forward. And they got a huge game against the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up this week. And they just came off with a huge win against the Titans. A lot of people are asking this week, can the Bengals do it again? I don't know. We'll talk about that this week.
I like their chances. You know why?
Why?
Because the Steelers still suck.
Because the Steelers still suck.
Cue the music.
All right.
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
What you drinking today, Thomas?
Well, it turns out that I had a whole 6-pack of Amstel Light, so I got to finish drinking an old man beer. So I am drinking another Amstel Light today. So
more Amstel Light. I mean,
it's imported from Amstel. Where the fuck that is?
Germany, right?
I don't know. Okay.
Amstel is a Dutch brewery. It's made in founded in Amsterdam, imported from Amstel. I don't know if that's even a thing. Like its headquarters are in Zoertwerwoude, Netherlands.
Don't hurt yourself saying that.
What?
Don't hurt yourself saying that.
I might hurt myself. So that is a name. That is a name. That's Zoetwoude. I can't even. It's Zoeterwoude. Netherlands.
Super.
Zebra. That's what I'm calling it. Zebra.
That Z word. That ZZ. It's straight out the Z.
ZZ Top.
The big Z.
I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I am drinking. I actually don't even know what I'm drinking today. It's called a Mango Oberon Ale. I just picked it up at Kroger. I guess it's got like a mango type flavor. It's American wheat ale. So let's see. Ooh, that's good. That's good.
You seem to like that a lot.
Yeah. Mango Oberon Ale. That is tasty stuff. Tasty stuff. I will be getting that again. That is delicious. Made in Comstock,
trying to beer and to like it.
All right, so let's get into the games.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Let's go ahead and start off with the Cleveland Browns. Hosting the 2-7 Houston Texans this week. And this is probably a game that the Browns really have no business losing, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to this game. The Browns are coming off the bye, so we have a lot of key players getting healthy. Mm-hmm. For one, the big advantage for the Browns is it's going to be 20 mile per hour winds, and the temperature is going to be just below 60 degrees, probably at the mid 50s. They're saying it's probably going to be around. So the weather is going to be a slight factor, considering the fact that the Texans have not played in a climate game yet. This is going to benefit the Browns. The second benefit for the Browns is they're coming off a bye. Teams that come off a bye have a greater chance of winning. The teams that are not coming off a bye. So the Browns have that in their favor. And also the other thing they have is they're getting healthier. One problem with the Browns against the Raiders is Kareem Hunt had an undisclosed injury. Many beat reporters in Cleveland facility have mentioned that Kareem Hunt was hurt. They haven't been completely specific about what was wrong with him. Some people say it was his groin, some people say it was his knee. But whatever it was, let's hope that these couple of days off will allow him to get more healthier. So Kareem Hunt is going to be more of a factor going to this game. Jarvis Landry had another week to heal his broken ribs. Baker Mayfield had another week to heal his ribs. And most of all, you get Alex Hooper back.
Mhm.
Alex Hooper will play. Wyatt Teller will play. Nick Chubb, it hasn't been announced yet that Nick Chubb will play, but he has practiced all this week without a knee brace, which means more than likely Nick Chubb will play this weekend, but he probably will play with limited carries, but he will play. So those are three big pieces that you get back to your team that you didn't have the last couple of weeks, and you had to learn how to win without. So this is going to be a boost to that offense, on top of the fact that they're healthier, on top of the fact that they're hungry from losing. And the biggest factor about this game is the fact that we have a competent head coach who does a great job of keeping the focus in the room. Kevin Stefanski, one thing that he has done a great job in Minnesota, as well as here in Cleveland, is that he has been able to get his team to respond every single time after they lost. After they lost against the Ravens, they run off and won 4 in a row. They lost against Steelers. Media's criticizing them. They have that amazing performance that they outdueled Joe Burrow. We all seen that game. Great game. So now they lose against the Raiders. So now how would they respond? Lucky to them, every single time they lost, they had a significant inferior opponent. And as long as the Browns stay focused and execute correctly, they should win this game. They should be able to out-physic the Texans' poor defense, running wise and passing wise, and the Browns should be able to win this game pretty handily. All we need is some stops, because Deshaun Watson can win any game that he is in if you give him a chance. So we just got to get opportune stops, fumbles, stops, whatever.
I'll tell you one thing that I truly believe is going to be quite possibly an insurmountable difference for the Texans and the Browns in this game. If you guys are getting you said you're not sure if you're getting both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb back this week. Is that right?
Oh, we should have both of them back.
You should have
Chubb,
both of them back. Okay, so if you get both of them back, that's going to be huge for the Texans, because the Texans' biggest weapon, I mean, you could say J.J. Watt, but really the Texans' biggest weapon for success right now is Deshaun Watson. If you can keep the ball out of his hands and you can do some damage on the ground, the Texans have the second worst rushing defense in the NFL. They've allowed 11 touchdowns. So I mean, you can, anybody can run it against the Texans. And if the Browns have just an impossibly insane rushing attack like that with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt back contributing and healthy, then like I said, you're not only going to do exactly what the Texans are bad at defending against, but you're also going to keep Deshaun Watson off the field. And I mean, that's just, and that'll give, Baker plenty of, room to breathe as far as everything being on his shoulders too.
Well, I think the other big thing about the running attack that people don't really talk about how important the offensive line is when it comes to the running attack. I'm a nerd, so I'm about to talk about it. Alex Hooper is one of the best blocking tight ends in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's fact. Alex Hooper has been out for the last few weeks.
Are you talking about Austin Hooper?
I'm sorry, Austin Hooper is one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. And J.C. Treader is one of the best offensive linemen in the AFC. Mm-hmm. And he's been great for us the first couple of weeks. We get both of those guys back. So you get two great blockers that help push that offensive line. So now you can load up the offensive line, and you can run the ball more efficiently. And now you can have that three-headed monster running attack that we had before. And now we can just out-strategize them on a run. Kind of like what we did to
Wyatt Teller back too, right?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yeah. That's what I meant. I can mention J.C. Treader. But Jason Treader has been hurt. But we're getting him back to Wyatt Teller.
Know what you mean.
I meant Wyatt Teller. I kept on saying Wyatt Teller is very important. Wyatt Teller's been out since the Odell Beckham debacle, injury, play, all that BS. So it's going to be so the Browns should not have a problem running the ball this weekend. And whatever capacity that we see Nick Chubb in, it should be limited. I don't think that he's going to have more than probably like 10 to 15 carries, because it seems like they're going to be very limited with him. Mm-hmm. But he should still allow us to have a boost, because Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league. He still leads the league in 20-yard rushes, which is phenomenal considering the fact that he just missed 3 weeks. So for the Browns, run the ball down the throat, keep the ball out of Deshaun Watson's hands. Because Deshaun Watson is not a scrub. He's not a scrub at all. And he's actually having one of his seasons.
He definitely is no scrub. But what does a win mean for the Browns this week?
For one, it's a confidence booster. It pushes us back to the playoff push, and it leaves us with only 4 more wins to that 10-6 plateau. That should be one of the goals this year, to at least get 10-6. So you're halfway there. So just every win matters. Every win matters. But also it means that you guys have had another chance to get more comfortable in Kevin Stefanski's offense, and you're able to grow as a team. So this win is vitally important because this playoff race in the AFC is very tight right now. We have 2 teams that are threatening for one of the positions of the AFC playoff spot right now between Tennessee Titans and the Colts playing tonight. So it's very important for the Browns to win this game. It's almost a must win. It's as close as a must win as you could come if it's not a must win, because this game is vitally important and they cannot take this Texas team lightly. And if they win this game, it will give them confidence going to the next 4 games forward. So this game is just everything that is supposed to be as importance.
Right. When is the last time that the Browns made the playoffs, Thomas?
The last playoff game for the Browns was against the Steelers, I believe, in 2002, I believe. Let me double check this real quick. The last playoff game was the wild card playoff of 2002. The game was actually played in 2002 season, but the game was played in 2003, January 5th, 2003, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was actually the game where the Steelers, they actually have this. The Browns lost 36-33, and the Steelers, the Browns were actually winning for most of the game. Kelly Hawkman was the quarterback for the Browns, not Tim Couch, popular belief. Kelly Hawkman actually had 429 yards, and he lost to Tony Maddox. And in this game, after the third quarter, the Steelers played this song, the song that they play at the middle of every game when they're losing, and it kind of rallied them. And they came back, and they still play that song at every single home Steelers game to this day. And it started with the Browns, of course. Steelers suck. Can't remember the name of the song right now, but you know the song I'm talking about, right?
I have no clue what song you're talking about, actually.
So they play this song. The Steelers play this song to get them to rally, and it's like their rally song. It's kind of like how Wisconsin have their jump around song at the end of the third quarter against the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I know what kind of thing you're talking about, but I'm not familiar with what song they play. Renegade?
Yeah.
By Tommy Shaw. I don't even know who Tommy Shaw is. Oh, Styx. Oh. Okay, yep. Styx. Yes, I know who Styx.
Since January 2002. Yep. They play Renegade. I did against the Browns.
Yeah. Well, trust me, I understand. As a Bengals fan, I understand losing playoff games to the Steelers because that is the last playoff game the Bengals were in. And, in terms of, wonderful, amazing transitions, the Bengals are also playing the Steelers this week. And can we just talk about for a second how huge it is when, we talked about this when the Browns played the Steelers earlier in the year on the podcast, and you guys ended up getting blown out. But you were you were hyped about that game going into it. And it's because nobody likes the Steelers, man. The Steelers suck. Everybody hates them.
Oh, Steelers fans are the worst people. We already went over that.
Yeah, well, we know all about that, especially Steelers fans living in Ohio. And if you listeners are interested in our thoughts about that, we got a whole video up on it on our YouTube. So
I can reiterate for you. If you are a Steelers fan
for you right now,
if you are a Steelers fan from Ohio, you are one of the worst scumbags on this earth. Yes, that's right. I said it. You are one of the worst scumbags from this earth. Now, if you from Pittsburgh and you was born and raised in Pittsburgh, then go ahead and do your thing. But if you are from Ohio, like from Cincinnati, Ohio, and you grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, your entire goddamn life, and you root for the Steelers, and you call yourself a Red fan or a Xavier fan or UC fan, but you root for the Steelers, you are trash because you are not a Steelers fan because of the Steelers, because of the fact that you enjoy the city of Pittsburgh. You are a Steelers fan to be a troll, which means that you are one of the worst scumbags on earth. You just like seeing pleasure of people from Ohio being suffering, and you are horrible. Go to hell.
Go to hell. Straight to hell. So, but anyway, Bengals are going to play the Steelers this week, and up until maybe like 2 weeks ago, I would have told you that this one is a definite, absolute loss for the Bengals, because, like, just to be completely honest with you, the Bengals have looked like they can't do anything all season. They look like they've got the potential to do something, and then they just never put it together at the end of the game. And the Steelers are the exact opposite. The Steelers have been playing teams, really close all year and have been pulling it out at the end, sometimes in miraculous and sometimes in questionable ways, like we talked about in the last episode. But it looked like the Bengals and the Steelers were not really on the same level, in particular because of that Steelers pass rush and the Bengals offensive line. It just looked like a match made in hell, to be quite frank. But last couple weeks, it has been a little bit less of a sure thing that the Bengals are definitely going to lose this game, because you got Joe Burrow seeming to finally get it together, developing chemistry with his offensive line to the point where maybe the offensive line isn't playing like an elite unit, but together with Joe Burrow's understanding of, the blitzes that are coming his way and the speed of the NFL game, together they're putting it together. They're putting it together enough. That's a terrible way to say that, but you know what I'm trying to say. They're putting it together enough, Joe Burrow and the offensive line, that they're making it work. And Joe Burrow is not taking a whole lot of Joe Burrow has not taken a whole lot of sacks lately. Joe Burrow, at least compared to the beginning of the season, Joe Burrow has been getting consistently less pressure because, like I said, he's been working together with his offensive line better, and the offensive line's been playing better, and we got a couple new pieces on the offensive line that look better. Now, is that going to hold up against the Steelers? I don't know. But, you do got arguably the most exciting rookie quarterback in the NFL, who's really starting to put it all together mentally, going up against a Steelers team that struggles with consistency. They are allowing the second lowest quarterback rating in the country right now, at 79.7. And Joe Burrow isn't exactly like topping the charts in the NFL among, being absolutely amazing. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that he, had to get kind of used to the flow of things the first couple of weeks. The last few weeks, he's been on the ball incredible. So, I mean, the whole point I'm trying to get with that is it looks like a much better matchup now than it did a couple of weeks ago. And I've been saying all year that I think the Bengals have a legitimate shot to beat the Steelers in like later in the season when they play in Cincinnati on Monday night in a couple of weeks. But I'm actually starting to think that we match up well this week, in particular because, like I just said, that offensive line is, again, definitely not an elite unit, but starting to come together. It doesn't help that they're really banged up, but they look pretty good against the Titans despite starting literally everybody on the offensive line. Is that right? Yes, literally everybody on the offensive line was not starting week one.
Wow.
Yeah, so and it's going to get a little bit better than that this week. Now you got much higher competition this week. But you might be getting Jonah Williams back. You're probably getting Trey Hopkins back. Probably not getting Bobby Hart back. But Hakeem Adeniji looked really good. Quentin Spain looked really good. Xavier Su'a-Filo looked really good earlier this year, and we just designated him to return, so he might be ready for this game against the Steelers. So all in all, this might be the best, like, talent-wise that the offensive line has looked all year, this particular week. And you just happen to be going up against, by far and away, the most talented pass rush. So it's just like, are the Bengals going to dominate the Steelers pass rush? No, that's not going to happen. But can they do well enough that Joe Burrow can work around it and make some magic happen? Because if he can do that, why can't we beat the Steelers?
I'm going back and forth with this game too. Man, that Chase Claiborne kid looks really good, and that's the only thing that bothers me, because like the Bengals defense, they gotten stops. They haven't looked completely miserable. There's been times where the Bengals defense has shown flashes. Who's the defensive coordinator for the Bengals?
The Bengals defensive coordinator is Lou Anarumo, former defensive backs coach of the New York Giants.
Okay, so defense haven't always looked miserable. There's been times where the defense have had opportune stops against teams like Tennessee, teams like the Ravens. When they game plan well, they're able to do great things. But James Conner looks like he's having one of his better seasons. That Chase Claypool kid looks good. Ben Roethlisberger is just making throws when he's supposed to make them. Now that Dallas game, I'm not sure how much weight I want to put in that for that close win for the Steelers, because, Ben Roethlisberger had to leave halfway through that game. He had to come back. And he had to leave them at the end. So they're running off some juices. Now, when you're 8-0, every single win gets harder and harder. So I think it's going to be a very competitive game. And one thing about Burrow's just looks locked in. He's looked really locked in. He's just been getting better and better every single game.
Right.
The thing that scares me about this game, though, and I actually woke up out of bed this morning. I was like, when I shoot this podcast, I'm going to tell everybody I think the Bengals going to win this game. And the whole day I'm like, oh, the Bengals going to win this game. The Bengals going to win this game. Mm-hmm. But as I keep on sitting down thinking about it, I can't pick the Bengals. I just can't. And sorry, Bengals fans, because I really want to say, oh man, Joe Burrow got this one. Joe Burrow literally got this game. I really want to say that this is Joe Burrow's game to lose. But I think about the Steelers defense. And although the Steelers defense haven't looked as fast and as dominant as it did when they had Devin Bush in there, they still have a very solid pass rush against that Bengals defensive line, which have indeed looked better, but they still have a very great pass rush that could make any offensive line look bad. That Steelers defensive line still does a great job against the run, which means they could neutralize Joe Mixon. And I see a rookie quarterback, man. I see, as great as Joe Burrow's been, I see a rookie quarterback go against the best defense and the fastest defense in the league. And I just think the first time that he sees them, he's going to struggle. And I think that they're going to make him look like a rookie. So as much as I want to say, give me the Bengals this game, I'm going to have to go with the Steelers.
Well, look,
I can't even complete that sentence. I can't complete that sentence.
You know what? I think.
Please change my mind. Please change my mind, by the way, because I hate saying this.
I don't know if I'm going to change your mind because, while I'm certainly saying the Bengals can win this game, I can't say that I'm super confident that it's going to happen. But, decently confident that we can pull it off for sure. But I will say one thing. there is a formula to beating the Steelers.
No.
There really is, and I don't really have the formula like in like A plus B equals C kind of like I can't spell it out quite that easily for you because it just hasn't been done yet this year. Nobody's actually beaten the Steelers yet. So as far as what exactly you have to do, what are the exact moves you have to do to beat the Steelers, I don't know yet. But I can tell you that the team that got the closest was the Tennessee Titans, a team the Bengals beat, by the way.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans that have been so, put on such a pedestal after some of their really impressive early season performances, they almost beat the Steelers. And a lot of people would argue that that was an example of the Titans being a good team, is almost beating a team that is still to this, to this moment undefeated. And they actually, were it not for a missed 45-yard field goal by Steven Gostkowski, that would have gone into overtime, and who knows what happens in overtime. But you know what a big part of that was? It was 3 Ben Roethlisberger interceptions thrown. Ben Roethlisberger's thrown 4 interceptions all year. 3 of them were thrown against the Titans. The thing about that is the Titans were not really able to capitalize particularly well on those 3 interceptions. Now, one of them came at the very end of the second quarter, so it's kind of like, what can you really do there? But, outside of that, the Titans scored a total of 3 points on those 3 turnovers. And I think they got a field goal once, and on another one, they missed a field goal. So my thought process is if you could make Ben Roethlisberger make mistakes, because it can be done. He's not the same player he used to be. And, everybody talks about him being hurt and whatever. And, as a Bengals fan, I can tell you when people say Roethlisberger's hurt and he's not going to play well because of it, he tends to play well. He tends to sometimes play even better when people are saying he's not going to play well because of injury. And of all teams, the Bengals know that. But what I can tell you, though, is the Bengals as a defense are not a particularly great defense, but they are an opportunistic defense. They showed it against the Titans. They can make things happen. They're not going to do a lot of stopping and grinding your team into the ground. They're not going to be stopping a lot of teams, while they're on these really long drives, except through turnovers. They can do that. And so if they can force Ben Roethlisberger to make some mistakes, and they can hold down that Steelers ground game that just really hasn't been all that great this year, then you're putting more opportunities in Joe Burrow's hands. And if Joe Burrow can get the lead, then Joe Burrow can keep a lead.
Yeah, he can.
Now, he hasn't done it every year. He hasn't done it every game this year, but as he's kind of learned how to do it, you can see the gears turning. You can see that if, Joe Burrow gets up on somebody, he can make the plays to keep the points or to keep the score in the Bengals' favor during the game. So like I said, the real most important thing for the Bengals is to, they got to make Roethlisberger make mistakes, because that is how, that is how the Steelers have had their closest call this year, was by Ben Roethlisberger making a bunch of mistakes. And then, like I said, obviously I already talked about the offensive line, but, if the offense can capitalize on those mistakes, then the Bengals have a really good chance of pulling off this insanely improbable upset.
I'm not saying that the Bengals don't have an opportunity to win, because I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals would win because of Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
One thing that Burrow able to do very well, a lot of people is not paying attention to, is actually, not the run, because the run helps every young quarterback. One thing that Burrow's great at doing is he's great at these underneath route throws. And a lot of people don't like to give love to the underneath route throws, the little curls, the slants, the very quick 5-6 yard throws. Burrow is so perfect on those throws. The thing is that Burrow don't mind doing those throws. He don't mind doing those throws. He'll do 20 of those throws in a row. Wouldn't miss a beat. And he has T. Higgins. He has A.J. Green. He has Tyler Boyd. And those guys will run those throws. So he just spread it out to each receiver. So 5 yards here, 5 yards there, 4 yards there, 4 yards there. For one, it wears the hell out of the defense. And two, what it does is it drives the ball down the field and it builds confidence through everybody. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it keeps the ball away from somebody like Ben Roethlisberger, and it's almost like a glorified way to run. That's kind of like what we've been seeing with Joe Burrow. The next thing you know, he's throwing these little 5-6 yard throws, 4 yard throws, 3 yard throws, and he's just completing these short yard throws. And next thing you know, you're at the 10-yard line in the red zone looking for 6. Right. And Burrow's been doing such a great job at doing that. And he's so consistent. He just keeps coming out to you. He's so good at just wearing down the defense. And if he's able to do that against this Steelers defense, first of all, I'm very impressed. And second of all, y'all can win this game. But I think that I think that this is not the one. I think that the one in a couple of weeks now, because you're also playing away.
Right.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I feel you. I do. I'm just saying, anybody listening to this, not just you, Thomas, but anybody listening to this podcast, anybody listening to this podcast in however many years when maybe somebody actually stumbles upon this podcast and listens to it. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, don't sleep on the Bengals because this team is dangerous right now. Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan. I'm saying that because I am witnessing before my eyes the blossoming of confidence and the actual ability to get everybody on the same page that just hasn't been present with this team in probably like half a decade at this point. I am saying that, are the Bengals definitely going to win? I don't know. We'll talk about the predictions here in a second, but are the Bengals capable of winning this game? They absolutely are. And next week, if you're hearing, oh, the Bengals made this giant big upset, oh, whatever, et cetera, don't be shocked. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, you know what? Look, I am not disputing that. I'm not disputing that, man. Watch me get made an ass of myself. Because yeah. I'm just not ready yet. You caught me 3 weeks early on the Bengals. I'm just not ready yet. I was so ready this morning. I woke up this morning. I'm like, oh, I'll pick the Bengals. Like when I was like, man, I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna tell him we can do this podcast, and I'm about to start off the back and be like, guess what, Bengals fans? I am taking the Bengals. No, not this week. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll shock the world, and we'll shock you too. So anyway, let's go ahead and that's it for the predictions. Let's go ahead and transition to our last little segment here. Basically, just looking at how the state of the AFC North this week. Like I said, Bengals and Browns both coming off byes, and the Ravens and Steelers both getting wins last week. So not so great for the Browns as far as their potential playoff race is considered. And like we said earlier, the Browns' best chance as far as like getting ahead in this division is definitely the Ravens, not the Steelers. Yeah, because y'all are only one game behind them, right?
Yep. We catch Ravens, but we're not gonna catch Steelers unless the Steelers have a colossal collapse. I don't see it happening.
Well, I mean, because of their schedule, yeah, probably not. But I'm almost betting that this Steelers team is gonna flop on their faces come the playoffs. That's my honest prediction. A hot take right now. Kyle Phelps, 2020. But anyway, as far as the Ravens are considered, I think the Ravens are the much more interesting team to watch right now. Just because I feel they have more overall potential than the Steelers, and I feel like they've also got the much more interesting schedule right now than the Steelers. And they play the Patriots this week, which shouldn't be a very close game. But, I mean, honestly, do you think the Patriots could maybe have a chance to win this game?
I mean,
because I don't. The Patriots are terrible. You almost lost to the Jets. Like, y'all suck. You're terrible.
I'm about to say this. Bill Belichick, when you have Bill Belichick as your coach, you get win any given Sunday. Because the reality is that when you're there's a formula to beat Lamar Jackson. There's a formula to beat Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson haven't looked great this year. There's a formula to beat Lamar Jackson. And if anybody can pick up that formula is Bill Belichick.
Right.
So there's a chance that they could win, but I don't see it happening. I just don't.
If any coach can implement a strategy that will employ the very obvious formula to beat Lamar Jackson, it's Bill Belichick.
But I'll tell you one thing, I still wouldn't want to play Patriots.
The Patriots have enough talent to do it right now.
I still wouldn't want to play the Patriots this year because every single time I watch the Patriots, every single game, and it's a night game, and it's in New England. Every single time I watch a Patriots game, I never think, oh, they're about to lose this game 100%. Because, at the end of the day, they're still the Patriots, man. And it's still Bill Belichick.
Right.
And, I just, that dude's just an evil genius. And, I just feel I just don't think that, I look at that 3-5 record, I just think there's no way he's just going to just fall down. There's just no way, right? There's just no way, right? Unless he's trying to get one of these young quarterbacks off the draft.
Well,
that's a scary thought.
People were joking a couple of weeks ago about how the Patriots could be in the running for Trevor Lawrence.
They don't get Trevor Lawrence.
They were joking because they're like, oh, ha, ha, ha. What if they just replaced Tom Brady with Trevor Lawrence? Wouldn't that be funny?
No,
but it's just kind of well, hold up now. The way they're playing, they almost maybe not because the Jets are so bad, and I could totally see them just getting Trevor Lawrence. But man, the Patriots are suddenly awful looking.
Yeah. If
the Jets can put a couple of things together, then I could totally see the Patriots being in the running for Trevor Lawrence, especially if they don't win this week.
The Patriots are going to upset a team. And, here's something interesting, by the way. Lamar Jackson leads the Ravens in rushing, which is very interesting to me because they just went out and grabbed J.K. Dobbins, who should be more than a capable running back. I don't know what's up with that. I'm not sure if he's hurt or not, but it just, there's just something fishy about this. There's just something not right about this Baltimore team that they don't have this year that they had last year. They're beatable. I could literally see. You know what? I am flipping my prediction here.
Wow.
I am talking myself into it because I'm looking at this. It's a night game. Strange stuff happens in night games.
Yeah.
Cam Newton, he's still Cam Newton. Bill Belichick's still Bill Belichick. I'm going with the Patriots. I'm going with it. I'm going for it. I am putting my reputation on the line, like you said.
Right.
I'm talking myself into it. Switch my pick.
I'm
just sitting here looking at it. So, I don't know why. Something just funny. Something just fishy about this game. I don't know what it is.
See, I thought the same thing. This was one of those games that every week I kind of think maybe I should try to go for the weird upset here. And this is definitely that week for me, but I don't know. It seems too unlikely to me for me to
just looking at it. I'm like, look, let me just go. I'm going to Patriots this game. I'm all that said, I am going for the Patriots. Why not? Why not go for it, right? I'm winning the standings, right? This might be a chance for you to catch up. So I'm going for the Patriots. I'm going for the Patriots this week. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
If the Patriots do win this week, then that puts the Ravens at 6-3, and if the Browns can beat the Texans, then the Browns would also be at 6-3.
6-3, yes.
And I believe, let's see. Have y'all already played? No. Okay, so y'all play the Ravens in Cleveland week 14, right?
Monday night, yes.
Yeah, so that game could, if that does happen, the Patriots lose, and the Patriots beat the Ravens, and the Browns beat the Texans, which one of those two things definitely should happen. But if y'all are both 6-3 at the end of this, then that Ravens-Browns game becomes must-watch football. It's already Monday night, but it's extra Monday night,
Yeah.
It's so Monday night, it might as well be Tuesday night.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something fishy about this game. and I don't know what it is. And the Patriots are coming off a win, and NFL. The NFL is all about momentum, and you don't got to be the better team in football. You just got to be the better team that day.
But they beat the Jets.
Yeah,
barely.
True. Yeah, it's true.
That's like saying I'm ready for an MMA fight because I just beat up my 5-year-old.
Well, here's why though. Here's the thing I would say. The one thing that the Ravens have always had a kryptonite against is they always had a kryptonite against the run for some odd reason, and that's all the Patriots are going to do. They're just going to run the ball. That's all they're just going to run. They're going to Sonny Michel, Cam Newton. They just find different ways to run that ball. Are they going to be successful? Maybe, but Bill Belichick probably knows that that's their strength. Josh McDaniels, they're going to find ways to poke holes in that Ravens defense.
Right.
And I just think the New England Patriots are just too smart to go down without a sweep. They're just too smart, and I have no analytic data to back me up just because of the fact that they're the Patriots. And even if you look at these games, some of the games the Patriots lost, like the game they lost against the Chiefs, man, they lost the Chiefs by a lot. But the Bills, they lost to the Bills by a field goal. They lost to the Seahawks by a field goal. They found a way to win against the Dolphins, although the Dolphins weren't really doing that well. They beat the Vegas Raiders, who are turning out to be a better team than we thought they were. So there's talent there. There's still the Patriots. I just think that.
So, Thomas, are you talking yourself? Let's be honest for a second. Are you talking yourself into this because you genuinely think it might happen, or are you talking yourself into this because you want the Ravens to go down so that the Browns
a little bit of both. A little bit of both. A little bit of both. But I just keep on looking at it. I just look at something and then you're just like, you know what? My gut is telling me something here. And my gut is telling me that the New England Patriots are going to beat the Ravens.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. We'll find out on
and that's what my gut is telling me.
What is that, like a 4:25 game or something?
No, that is a Sunday night football game.
Oh, right. Well, I guess we'll find out.
That's one of the reasons why I'm picking them, because it's prime time in Foxborough.
All right. I do hope. Let's see how I put this. For the sake of my shameful record against you in predictions right now, I hope you're wrong. But for the sake of my actual football loyalties, which I think take precedent over my pick'em record, I hope you're right. So,
let's see. I honestly have no idea. I kind of pulled it in, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I think we've gone on long enough here. I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast. Yep. Thank you for listening to us, everybody. You can find this podcast and any other episodes we've put out, including those short little clips that we put out, so that y'all can have easily digestible little bits of the podcast, in case you don't want to listen to the whole thing.
Yep.
But if you do listen to the whole thing, we really, really appreciate that. And even if you just listen for like 10 seconds, right now at the stage that we're in, every little bit of help that we get is huge for us. Me and Thomas were just talking about, looking at our subscriber count, which I looked at like a couple days ago. It was at 12 subscribers, and Thomas was texting me earlier today, and he was like, wow, we're at 17 subscribers now. Look how much we've grown. But in reality, at the stage that we're at right now, every single one of you subscribers, every single one of you listeners means the world to us right now. So
we appreciate
y'all so much.
We appreciate y'all greatly.
We are having a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you guys are having a lot of fun watching us.
So much fun. And we're going to have guests on soon, so yeah.
Right. And like I said, if you have any suggestions, or if you have any ideas or just thoughts or whatever, feel free to comment in the box down below. Feel free to hit me or Thomas up if you, like I said, first of all, if you just want to talk about the show. Second of all, if you want to come on the show, we got another guest coming up on, this the next episode after this coming one, right?
Yep.
So next week's preview episode, we got a guest coming on, and we're excited to talk to him about. He's actually he's a Browns fan, so we've had one Bengals fan on the podcast, maybe two if you can count Murphy. But we've had one Bengals fan guest, and we're gonna have our first Browns fan guest coming on next week, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So. Like I said, you can find this podcast on YouTube. You can find me on any social media at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter and Facebook.com/LaPhelps. Thomas can be found
_94.
Yeah, T _ store. You say it. I'm bad at it.
T_star94.
Yeah. Both on Instagram and Twitter. And then he's got his own comedy YouTube channel called Blowdown Page. Check that out. It's funny.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Fun times to blow down.
And so just thanks for listening, everybody, and hoo day.
Go Browns.
No, not at all.